Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam has said that its government is close to completing the disarmament of Hezbollah across regions south of the Litani River. This comes as Lebanon races to fulfill a key demand of the ceasefire with Israel, which holds a year-end deadline of December 31. Now, the US-backed ceasefire was agreed last year in November, which ended more than a year of fighting between Israel and the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah. The ceasefire deal also notably required Hezbollah to disarm, starting in areas south of the Litani River that are adjacent to Israel. Steps for disarming began in August earlier this year when Lebanese President Joseph Aoun tasked its army to devise a plan to establish state monopoly on weapons. Moreover, the Lebanese Prime Minister has added that his government is now ready to move on to the second phase, which will involve disarmament in areas north of the Litani River. And we have Irina Sukuman, who is a senior journalist. She joins us live from New York. Irina, now of course, south of the Litani River, Hezbollah may completely be ousted, but is it possible? Is it not in fact possible for it to trickle down from the other areas where it still continues to have its stronghold?
I have to say, I think the celebrations of even this development are premature.
Yeah.
Just because the government claims that phase 1 is complete does not mean that it's complete. In fact, that is the very reason why Israel has conducted several strikes against senior Hezbollah figures recently, and they had openly accused the government of failing to disarm Hezbollah sufficiently. So what we may be seeing is a very symbolic and rushed process to declare victory, to move on to phase 2, to avoid being targeted by Israel, but not necessarily because Hezbollah in fact has been disarmed. Moreover, from what I understand, the early stages of the process were not focused on Hezbollah at all, but rather on the Palestinian camps in that vicinity, which are much easier to disarm because they're contained, they're self-contained, and again, it's not like Israel is able to freely inspect those camps to see that every weapon has actually been removed from that vicinity. We have to take the word of the Lebanese government for it, and they have every incentive to try to avoid a foreign entanglement and some sort of a military clash with Israel, but at the same time, I don't know that they have any means to really disarm Hezbollah if it does not wish to be disarmed, and Hezbollah has resisted disarmament despite high-level losses this year from Israeli strikes and assassinations. So we are at a point where Lebanon may claim some sort of a compliance with its own resolutions and with the international pressure, only to avoid accountability and avoid the pressure from Hezbollah, which, unlike the international community, is perfectly capable of much deadlier pressure rather than merely sanctions or other financial instruments.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Irina, for now joining us and weighing in your opinion and explaining that to us. With that, viewers, let's shift our focus to news now from Taipei, where